Okay.
Aloha everyone, this is Naomi Kilikuli, Intuitive Soul Alignment Mindset Coach here, and I'm here with Wani. Did I say it right?
Yes, you
Right.
did.
Okay, cool. I always say the names wrong. Um, and we are sharing for my Mastering Your Soul's Gifts interview series, and we've been going at it for quite some time already, for the past year. So why don't you start with telling us, more about you, what you do, and how did you really become a master genius at what you do?
Well, my name is, thank you so much for actually having me on. My name is Wani Iris Manley, and I'm a speaker. I am a money karma coach. I'm also a best-selling author of the book, Get Out of Survival Mode and Live the Life You Really Want. And I'm basically, I would say an explorer on this adventure that we're all are, co-creating together. And for me, what led me on my path of alignment was difficulties, actually. For me, and it came in a sense of really coming to alignment of money, of, really having to understand that the reason why I was having issues with money as an entrepreneur was because of beliefs that I had picked up, from early age that, none of these things were actually taught to me, but it wasn't until I got on a spiritual path that began becoming aware of some of the teachings and just, coming to alignment with, wow, I am actually creating all of this and it's based on what I'm thinking, feeling, and I'm focusing my attention on. And just kind of being, like I said, going to school of hard knocks for a little bit and just really having to face myself and face my stuff. And that's when I became into my purpose, and then moving to Paris, becoming a speaker, writer, and and everything else in between. I'm here before you.
Wow. Amazing how like your journey goes from like, oh my God, I don't know who I am, what I'm doing. And then now it's like, this is what I'm doing. And you're doing it every day and you're really passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm also a lawyer as well too. I'm a corporate and business lawyer, and I thought that my entire life that I actually would be just doing that. But once I got into my
Mm.
soul mission and really, met the soul that was walking along my path, she was like, "Hey, we have different plans for you. Here's your dharma, and this is how it's going to look in the form of speaking, of writing, of coaching, and really kind of, sharing your story and being a catalyst, for change and transformation to, using your own journey and actually helping people and showing people their way as well too through your experiences. And, all the stuff you went through wasn't for nothing.
Yes, right. And it always feels like you're preparing for like something really big. And then when the big comes, you're like, wow, I didn't realize that that's what I was going to be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. My life looks nothing like what I thought it would be looking like. I mean, and I'm quite thrilled. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Beautiful. So from your perspective of your genius, like why is it important to know, such things, right? In order to create a life of success? Like why do people need to know, about their business, the law and being a speaker and a teacher that you are now? Like how does that all fit for creating a life of success?
I, you know, to some degree, and I was for a very long time, and I say this not just that I know everything, but we're all ignorant, and I don't mean ignorant in the form of speaking, but just ignorant meaning we're just unaware of life mastery. I didn't come from enlightened parents. I don't know anybody else who actually was. So we weren't born with the things that we know now in terms of alignment of creativity and step into your zone of genius, enjoying all of that. And so it's very important to know yourself. Thoreau says to thy own self be true. And it's very difficult. For me, for most of my life was living in survival mode. I was living in feast or famine, and I thought it was just about money. And it really wasn't about money. It was about lack of self-worth. It was like not actually knowing who the hell I was. It was about people pleasing. It was about doing things that was make me, make my parents proud. And I can tell you, as I have had this for the last 5 years, that wasn't who I am. But when I became to really get to know who Wani really was at the core, without the mask, without trying to perform and without trying to, do what everybody else is doing. And it was just like I really became to my life like completely blossomed up. I'm now living a freedom-based lifestyle. I'm doing what I want. I'm in Paris. I'm currently in Miami right now. I was in Iceland 2 weeks ago, and it's just actually just fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
It's awesome. You get to travel and, go in the moment and see where you end up.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you were growing up as a child, like what really lit you up? Like how does that play into what you do today?
Well, so my background's a little bit unique. I was born in the US. My parents are actually Liberian and West African. So I've lived this life as like an army kid, of like living all over the world. But, my parents were not in the army or they weren't in the military of any sort. And, for me as a child, I was very showy. I was a first grandchild, and I was, all the attention was given to me. But I actually had a circumstance that actually changed my whole direction of my life. I was actually sexually abused from the ages of 4 to 6. And I can tell you, in facing that dilemma right now, that 4-year-old has actually been blaming herself for bringing so much attention onto herself. So she kind of like throughout her life have kind of stepped away from the spotlight because she viewed it wasn't quite safe for me to be out there, and so, but I love being in front of camera. My incognito, what I wanted to be to grow up other than a lawyer was to be an actress. And so I love speaking. My gift really comes out in speaking and in writing, and it's where I really, really come alive with people. And so I guess I came like the back way of doing it as an attorney. I don't do litigation. I used to do litigation, so that was a requirement being in court. But now I work with more behind the scenes of putting deals together with my law practice. But for me now, it's before you hear it's speaking and being on stage that where I really, really come alive and where I really feel that I can really just kind of step forth in my gift and really like shine through and help other people.
Wow, what a come around. And then like bringing it all together, like it seemed like, being a lawyer and speaking on stage and writing books and stuff like that, you wouldn't think like they could actually come together.
Yeah, and it actually does, so, I realized, in this divine economy that we're all operating in, nothing really actually goes to waste. Everything is actually just preparing for us for the next evolution. And so, even, my legal skills, it's always going to it carries me forth even in speaking and negotiating contracts and actually helping my clients out. And it's just, it's all speaking related. I have to connect, I have to talk to clients, and I have to really present myself. And so, I mean, it's actually like a beautiful dance for me right now, using my analytical side with my creativity, with my spirituality. And it's really making me be my complete self, actually, as opposed to where I was just compartmentalizing myself before, not really using my full gifts, to the fullest.
Yes. So like tell us maybe a vulnerable story of your life and business. Like what did it feel like to be misaligned, and like how did you get back into that alignment?
I would say for me in business, it really came out. I started my own business in 2006 when I didn't know anything about starting a business. It was pretty much, I was working a law firm here in Miami where I was working 14 hours a day, and I was completely miserable, because I didn't have any time to really enjoy. I was making money, was driving a Porsche, had a beautiful loft. But at the end of the day, I woke up in the morning very crying to go to sleep. And as the universe would fix it, I got laid off, and I just decided to start my own law firm. And I didn't know, I didn't have any help doing it, but I took the harder way, and I was doing things that, I just saw, my former boss was actually doing, but I realized I just wasn't doing what I was meant to be doing. And so I was also praying, I was like, okay, show me the way, what is the way for me? And Obama came up. He decided to run for office, and he was my former state senator, and in Chicago. And I began to volunteer for his campaign. I was one of several of lawyers that were working to ensure a great process. And I actually was also part of a group called Women for Obama. And that summer, I was driving people to the polls. I was knocking on doors, and for me, it was like a very selfless act of really kind of working towards something for a greater cause, and I would ask myself, like, what is it about this man that, would want him, why does he want to be president? Why is he stepping out of himself, putting his family in danger, given the context of our history of our country? And it just really sort of put me into alignment of kind of like, okay, then I met my spiritual path, and I met my teachers, my coaches, and then my creativity opened up, and so I kind of came out of that way by stepping out of it's all about me, and my issues and my problems and my this and my that, and kind of getting out there for a greater cause. And it really led me to where I am right now.
I love that. That's exactly how Source does it. It's like, here you go, do this thing. I'm like, let's see where it goes. And then just like pulls you in a whole different direction you never thought you would go.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a very historical time for our country. You know, I remember crying and just witnessing people that lived through Jim Crow eras, like actually voting for the first Black president. And then who knows, who thought it would lead me to spirituality and, you know, and really aligning with my path and really living the life that I really want, which is one of my biggest, what I teach and what I really share. And that's my main message to everyone, is to live the life you really want for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I think also just seeing him right on stage, right? Giving him
Yeah.
speeches, and you're like, wow, I want to do that, right? Like,
Exactly. He's one of the most, you know, amazing orators and speech givers. And he's incredible. He's incredibly moving to inspiring. So in many ways.
mm-hmm. So what would be like your 3 must do steps, like to get back in alignment? Like obviously it kind of like fell upon you, but like from that experience, like what have you found like really helped to get back into alignment very quickly?
First of all, I would say meditation. You know, I tell people, you know, my head is shaved. I look like a monk, but I am a monk. I begin my days with 2-3 hours of meditation every morning. And it's just literally, it's time spent with yourself. You cannot get to know who you really are without really quieting your mind as best as you can and really getting to see what you want and really getting to know who you are. The second thing I would say is asking yourself, what do you really, 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 really want? You know, so many of us are not used to getting what we want. We're not used to even hearing the question, what do you really want? So that question really becomes very foreign to ourselves. And so I can tell you, for me, when I would ask that question, I was getting a blank answer. I mean, I was getting nothing. I was hearing crickets, you know? And so the third thing I would say, and eventually you start to hear the voice of your heart. And the next thing I would say is, you know, start taking steps that follows your curiosity, because, you know, the way the life of the universe works is that the whole path is never just laid before us, because that's a part of what the adventure is. And so what you have to do is every single day is, you know, follow your curiosity, because your curiosity, your likes, your interests, I wonder what that's all about, sorts of follow, you know, it gets you on that path of where you really want to go. And so for me, that would be the top 3.
I love that. I love the order. Because it's exactly what I tell my clients. Like, first, ask your soul aligned question, because every superpower has a specific question. And so obviously your question has a lot to do with aligning to power. So when you specifically ask that one question, which is for a power soul, usually it's like, what do you want? And that like answers like everything about your life and your business, you know? And like my question is like, what I can do today to, you know, do something more out of self-love and liberate my soul. You know, that's a very different question than your type of question. And then that tells you exactly like which direction, right? When you're meditating, you get the answer and you're like, okay, so I guess I'm going to write that sales page. Okay, like I guess I'm going to, you know, like go to that networking event or something like that, like going from within first, right? And then just taking the steps and then just being curious. Like, I don't even know what that's going to look like or who's going to be there. And that's okay. Because that's how you find your path, because you're just like going along and you're like finding different ways of how that aligns back to yourself, which is aligning back to your superpower. So it's kind of funny that you're like explaining it just in a different way. In your version.
Yeah.
So when you feel like giving up, like what keeps you going? Like what gets you up, like even when it's hard?
In earnest, I have to tell you that that doesn't exist within me. You're looking at one of the most driven persons you'll ever meet. And I also think a lot of it comes from the fact that I don't have like a very strong family support system where I can fall back on. So I just have to make it. And so like the drive within me, the courage within me, I always tell people my biggest asset is my courage. You know, I just go for it. And for me, there is such thing as giving up. You know, even if it feels like it's a tough road, I can tell you, like, you know, clearing my money karma, or, you know, really overcoming the challenges of, you know, struggling with money. It was just wherewithal. I refuse to lose. I feel like I don't have a choice, because there's nothing to fall back on of a trust fund or parents that's helping, you know, that's, yeah, I'll take care of it. So, And I also think for me, it's just a strong desire to just have what it is that I want, and to just, be living it from a place from a freedom of expression and abundance, and, really kind of like living my life according to how I want to live it.
Yeah, that's key. And it's like choosing that independence, right? Like I also have the same thing. Like I don't have anything to fall back on. I just have like myself, and now that I have my family, but like everything's all on me, right?
Right.
And when you have that determination, like nothing stops you unless I don't know, somebody saves you, but it doesn't always happen all the time, right? It's like
Right.
you have to create your path. So if that means like breaking through barriers that's not there, I mean like that's there, but like you can break through it yourself, like you can totally do that. And a lot of times it goes back into money, right? And your mindset about it, and going into those stories. So I like how like you're using money in a way that gets people to where they want to go, which is like freedom, right?
Hmm.
Freedom to express, freedom to do whatever they feel like doing when they want to do
Right.
it.
Absolutely.
So like how do you define success? Like what, no, obviously you went through a lot of pain to endure, get where you are today, but like how do you define it?
It's so funny because this really came up for me last week. For me, first of all, you have to define your version of success, and we definitely have to disengage from what society tells us what society is. For me, I can tell you that on paper, in terms of traditional, conventional way, I'm super successful. Um, but if you ask me, and I've done even some more than that, I've learned different languages, I've lived in different countries, I started businesses, best-selling author, blah, 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 blah. But there was a big part of me that was defining my success based on the size of my bank account. And when it was low, it was very, very low. And so, I've had to really come full circle and realizing that success is doing whatever you want to be doing. It's living your life of freedom. It's living a life that allows you to fully express who you are. And it's like literally doing whatever you want. Like for me, I have always said I wanted to live between Europe and America. I now live between Paris and Miami. I've always wanted to have 3 homes. I'm still working on that. But I'm free to do whatever I want. And it's like I've designed my life in such a way that where it's a lifestyle of the way that I live of, spirituality is important for me. Well-being is very important for me. So for me, success is, and it does include money, because I know the life that I like to live, I have to have it. We have to have it, And so for me is really living a life that allows you to express your true being, and really being happy, whatever that means for you. For some people, it might be living on a farm or living in the mountains. For me, it includes traveling. For me, it includes being an entrepreneur. For me, it includes, being able to afford certain things. It affords, for me to be able to write, to have the time out to carve out, to write, to speak, and to just really express myself creatively, as well as analytically, and everything else in between.
I love how you define it, like based upon what empowers you, right? Like what gets you going and lit up, right? And for you, that's writing, that's speaking, that's like travel, that's, for some people that's very different. Like for me, because I'm a love gift, I love people. I love being around people all the time. Or, when I speak with people, it's very intimate, one-to-one. Rather than getting on stage and talking to like a million people, like you really have to define how do you want to show up. And that really comes from your superpower, which obviously it's like your genius of how you want to express what's freedom to you or empowerment to you, or that success, that level of success. For me, travel is not so much, because if I travel too much, I'm not going to have friends probably as much as I would like to. You know what I mean? I would have to rely on many, many different people and many different friends, right? So like, that's just my definition, right? So even someone who travels a lot, you just love the new people, the new culture, the new, like all kinds of experiences, right? Maybe some person that doesn't light them up, right? They don't like travel that much. Then you have to really, this is why you have to really define, what that success would look like, because you can go after other kinds of, things that people have said success is. And you're going to find totally fatigued and, not enjoying your life, right? Because I used to travel all the time, 24/7. Like I would be in like a new city, and it was just really hard for me because it was just not my design, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that like you found like your unique way that you find, the good things in life, what makes you happy, because most people don't have that. They're just in their 9 to 5. They're, not doing what they want to do. They're going to the same thing every single day. And that was very obvious for you, right? When you were in that world, you had a Porsche, you had everything that could look successful. But for you, it was the defining moment was like you doing what you want.
I had no freedom whatsoever. It was like, it was crazy. I was working 7 days a week. I remember my first year never going home for, the holidays. And I was like, this is insane. This is not life.
Yeah, exactly. So what advice would you give to someone who's, just getting into the genius as you have? Like, what helped you decide to do the work that you love, to create that soul-aligned life and business, and to be truly, an expert in your industry? Like, what really you think are the steps for them to get started?
I would say, first of all, I want everybody to know out there who's watching this is that, I hate to keep talking about money, but, it is what I work with quite a bit. But, society, our condition has conditioned us that we can't make money being creative, that we can't make money doing what we love, and that the only way for us to make money and to be happy is to basically go and work at a job that we absolutely hate just for the sake of paying bills. And so a lot of us do not follow the path of our heart. We don't. We follow the path of the logic. We follow the path of, what we're being programmed to say, okay, this is going to make you happy, right? The lawyer, the doctor, the accountant, or the business person. So we're all out of alignment, meaning we're not following our true path of our heart. And so I would say, first of all, listen to it. Discover what that is for within your own self, and literally listen to it. It's like we're all so driven by this, and we ignore this. And I get that, because in society, especially here in America, where you can't be too soft, if you're following your heart. And I can tell you, for me, I wish if I could go back and rewind the clock, it would have been following this all along. I would have been writing and speaking way, way, way before that. And so I would say, first of all, follow that heart, listen to that voice, and just trust it, And I would also say, meditate, open up, and really if there's someone that you see that's doing what you want to do as a mentor, follow them. Listen to them, do what they do, and really seek out people that are doing what you want to be doing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of us have this whole martyrdom, conflicts going on where we want to be like, I can take it all on, I can do it all myself. It's like, no, it's not designed that way. So allow yourself to, connect with people that can really help you take you where you want to go. And the next thing I would just say was like, it's not going to be, it could be easy, but the way we're wired doesn't always be that way. And so don't give up. The road to success, whatever that is for you, is not a straight line. It's a crooked line. It's a jagged line. It's, it's like this. It's like, oh my God, it's like, what the hell sometimes, but, it's about the journey and not the destination. So as long as you keep that in mind and really kind of savor each moment, I think you'll be okay. We're living in a time where, there's, the society, technology is allowing all of us to be our own bosses. It's allowing all of us to follow our own hearts and allowing us to, have an impact and be influencers. And so let's take advantage of it, as opposed to just staring at our phones and being on social media all day. But let's use it to our advantage, and let us do the work that we can, and allow us to do the work that we came here to
do. Absolutely. I love how you just define it in a way so that people can understand, which is it really is a jagged line. and it's never what you kind of expect, right? Until you're finally in it and you're like, oh, this is my new reality. This is who I actually wanted to become. And when you're in it, then you're like, oh, duh. The whole process is I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I don't know if you're supposed to go do that and make that decision, this decision, but it always ends up for the better good.
Absolutely. And I was just expecting unexpected, and there's going to be some letting go. You have to let go of your old identity, your old belief structures, your old way of thinking how your life is supposed to be. I believe it was Joseph Campbell that says you must let go of the life you have in order to have the life you really want. And so you can't have both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you want to share, about like money karma or, like your expertise for my audience that, would really benefit them?
Yeah, what I really want to say is that, whatever is going on with you in money, whatever your past has been with money, that understand that what's going on in your bank account is nothing external. It's internal, all of it's within your belief structure, and that you really have to become aware of what your beliefs are about money. And the number one exercise that I want to give to people is very simple, like literally get out your timer or get on your phone and like literally get a piece of paper or your journal and just write out, what do I believe about money? And just like let your mind, do like a stream of consciousness writing and start to become aware what your beliefs are, because we all have pretty much the same beliefs. Money is bad, or money doesn't grow in trees, or money is the root of all evil. And so you really have to become aware, because I didn't grow up with that. That's not being taught in schools. We're all thinking that the answer is to work hard, is to work 2 or 3 jobs, or it's Donald Trump's fault, or it's Republicans in power. And it's like, no, everyone's economy is individual, and it's based on what you're believing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Like for me, one of my beliefs is that I have to work extra hard for money, because I was grilled that. I mean, that was drilled into my head when I was like in my mom's womb, that that's how you make money. And so for me, I reject money coming easily to me, and I'm still working on that. It's like I make it, but I'm working really hard for it. So, I mean, it's becoming less and less and less, but that's one of my core beliefs that I have. And so, yes, it does come, but I have to go through, hoops, jump through hoops for it. So really become aware what your beliefs are about money, and really begin to start letting go of those limiting beliefs and instill new beliefs that really are actually serving you. But
Mm.
it's not external, it's all internal. Every bit of it.
Right, right. And I think my audience too, like they have that mentality that I gotta work hard in order to make money. That's like
Yeah.
the really big thing. And like I think everybody has that, but like it depends on the story behind it. And like understanding the story behind it is really important, right? Like what are other things that you find that people have a mindset about money or freedom, maybe success? Like, is there those kind of things that comes up too?
Yeah, first of all, we're all despising rich people. You can't get what you hate. A lot of us, the reason why we hate or I'm not saying we, because I don't, hate Kim Kardashian, because she's got money. She's got tons of money. So to the extent that you are chastising something, you're throwing, everything is energy. And so it's like, we're not aware. A lot of us are clinging on to money, and we really, really want it, but we have such a horrible relationship with money that we're unaware of. We're hating rich people. We're saying rich people are bad. We're saying rich people are earning their money through fraudulent means, or that it can't be easy. And that all of it is really pushing money away. So you got to check what your beliefs are towards rich people, towards having a lot of money, and also seeing like, do you have a deservability issue going on? Because a lot of us feel like we don't deserve to have money unless blah, 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 unless we work hard for it, unless, whatever the case may be. So there's got all these conditioning around money and how bad it is. And it's just, unfortunately, I mean, it was taught from us at an early age, from 0 to 7. It's been reinforced by our schools, by churches, by, well-meaning adults, they didn't really know themselves. And so it is going to take some work to actually clean those beliefs up. I mean, I haven't seen anyone who's been instantly able to change. I certainly haven't. It's not hard work, but it does take some practice and really, changing your mindset towards money, and really, having different belief structures about it, and then things start to manifest it,
Mm-hmm.
and or much more easily.
So what are some tools that you recommend, to change those mindsets?
Journaling, writing. I mean, I write every single day. There's a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it's basically there's a chapter. I think it's chapter 6, where it's called The Morning Pages, right? And the whole idea is that when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you just grab your journal and you write down whatever's coming to your mind without scripting it, without writing it. And I've been doing this for like about 10 years now. And for me, I always write about money, or I always write about like my previous dream structures, but I always tell people like every single day, like for example, if you go to the supermarket, if you go and buy something, you can feel like when you put your card through, if there's some anxiety there, like don't just ignore it. I mean, that's something that's calling for your attention. So write about it. You know, every single day, like look into what your money story really actually is. You know, when you see Donald Trump, I mean, are you hating him or are you hating Melania Trump because she's wearing, you know, a stilettos or whatever, you know, her ring is as big, whatever it is, if you're seeing your attitude towards money, like be very aware of that. And I can't think of any better way of actually writing to be, you know, to actually look into that. I'm also a big fan of EFT as well too, electronic, you know, or, you know, like freedom techniques. So I do a lot of EFT as well too. But for me, becoming self-aware, studying the intentions to become aware what my limiting beliefs are around money, meditating about it, and like really becoming one with this energy and really seeing it from a space of like it's an energy rather than a piece of paper is huge. It's not a piece of paper, it's energy.
Exactly. Money is wholly energy. And
Yeah.
you're either going to call it or you're going to repel it. So
Yeah.
it's better to call it than repel it.
You know, exactly. And so, you know, and I think there's such demonizing about it, and there's such stigma to it. It's like it's not an evil thing at all. It really, really is. It actually is here to serve us, to help us, to make our lives fun, you know, adventurous, easier. But we're pushing it away left and right. And I was doing it too. I mean, and I had no idea. You know, but it wasn't until I became aware, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting money either. You know, a lot of us have this thing like it's wrong, like it's greedy, you know, to want money and not at all.
Totally, totally. I think it's a very spiritual thing. You know, it's a
Uh,
very beautiful, beautiful thing that gives us what we want, right? Like if you got, like, for example, like I like to get a massage. So $100, $150 massage is not bad. Like it's like the most refreshing spiritual thing I can give to myself. So no matter what the price tag is. Right.
yeah.
And I think we block it so much because we think it's not very spiritual. It's not a beautiful thing, but it is.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like 99% of people are struggling with this, you know, and it's just like, it's whenever I've done any studies, I talk to people, I'm asking, are you living the life you really want? No, why not? I don't make enough money, you know, short of having a health crisis, everybody else, it's because of money, you know, so.
I think it's about really defining what money can give you is really what you should work on.
Yeah.
And why won't you get it in any
Right.
other means, right? I think you should be getting it anyway, right? If it gives you what you want.
Exactly.
But
You know,
obviously you need the tools to do that too.
And I wanted to add, you know, the whole thing about money too is like, it's not even about money. It's really about self-worth. You know, it's like, you know, as I have found that with this work that we think it's some money and it's not, it's only a symptom. And the real cause is lack of self-worth and lack of self-love. And when you begin to really see yourself for who you are, that you're worthy, that you're whole, that you're complete, that you're deserving just because you exist, not because you do have to do anything for it, the money then starts to just flow and starts to, you know, that whole thing starts to, you know, correct itself.
Yes, totally. It's about saying that I deserve it, that I deserve to have all the riches and everything that comes with it. Because sometimes you have to buy it and sometimes it's free, you know, you never know. So it's
Right.
about to receive all abundance in every form. And one of the easiest ways is like having the money in your pocket so you can go pay somebody for it, right? Or an exchange for something that you actually want, because it's just an energetic exchange.
Yeah.
So, any last words that you have for my audience that you want to share before we go?
You know, I just want to tell people, if no one has said to you that you're beautiful, that you're special, that you're loved, I just want to be the first one to say it, because, you know, I didn't grow up hearing that quite a bit, and it's made such a difference in my life, and really loving yourself and really recognizing how special you are, you know, and just really, you know, how you're loved, you know. So, you know, our world, we're at a state where there's just so much going on of chaos, of destruction, of just like emptiness and loneliness. And I just think that it's what we need right now. it's just feeling loved and feeling that we matter, and that, that someone that is out there that actually cares. And so for me, I guess my final thoughts would be that, I love you, whether I've seen you or met you or not. I just want you to know that, you're loved, that you're special, that you're whole, that you're complete, because, we all at one point when we came out felt that. And along the way, things happen in our lives that took us away from that, and so many of us are trying to find our way back to feeling that love. And, and it's difficult. It's a difficult path for many people. And so I just want people to know that, I love you. I send you my love, and you're special. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, because that's, I think, what a lot of people never hear, even their whole life, and they keep looking outside of themselves for it. And it's really about like really addressing that from within. But hearing it sometimes is always very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Somebody really cares that, like you're there for them, even if it's just for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I mean, people don't get that all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So any, last gifts that you want to share with us? Share, like, how could we get in touch with you?
Sure. If you can go to my website, it's www at Wani, WANIMANLY.com. And right now, I'm actually looking for the next quarter to really work with, with women that really want to let go of the life of default, of struggle, of strife, that really want to get on the path of living the life they really want. So we just have to get a phone with people, and so let's see what's going on with you, where you are right now, where you want to be. And so just send me a message at, info@wanimanley.com. Let's see, let's see if we can talk, because, I feel like we're pretty blessed, at least, in my situation, and where you are too. And it's just like, I feel like, I always tell people that I recognize that my life is a gift. There are some women in the world that don't quite have the opportunities that I have, that have had the education or have the access to it. And so I really want to reach out to people to really help them get on the right path. And so for me, my invitation is for anyone who desires, is to let's get on the phone. And let's see if we can get you on a path of living a life you really want, living a life of genius, getting in your zone of genius, and getting on your right path and your dharma.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking this time with us. Beautiful nuggets of amazing information in just our conversation here. So I cannot imagine, when you get up on a call with any of your new prospective clients or anybody who really wants to need her help, feel free to, of course, reach out to her. So thank you so much for your beautiful time. And for everybody else, our next episode is coming up soon. So we'll see you guys all then. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. Aloha.